Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Sampson, everybody!
I appreciate that, DJ Amara. That was awesome. All right, come on in, guys. We got to get this thing started. I promised to keep this to an hour. So, good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you for coming out to the 2016 Rosebud Film Festival Awards Gala. Since 1990, the Rosebud Film and Video Festival has worked to recognize and honor the innovative, unusual, experimental, and deeply personal and regional filmmaking open exclusively to filmmakers in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Yesterday, we saw 20 films that stick to that traditional theme, and as people were leaving yesterday, I heard nothing but good things, and everyone was just talking about the amazing quality of the films that they saw yesterday. So I keep saying this over and over, but it's so true. Without you filmmakers out there, we wouldn't have films to actually do festivals. And so this year with Rosebud, I just hope that we were able to showcase your films in a great way. So if you are a filmmaker, could you please stand up so you can be acknowledged? Awesome. All right, so make sure you guys looked at each other network right after this. There are plenty of people to thank, but because a show like this doesn't happen with just one person. But we'll get into thank yous in a bit. I'd like to keep this short, so without further ado, here are some of the 2016 Rosebud Film Festival films.
I missed it. I feel bad.
Sorry.
I should call.
You should.
He's a good guy. Just feel bad.
I bet he is.
It's getting late.
It is.
Where'd you get that, Brills?
I got into a fight.
Did you win?
No.
That'll change.
As of right now, I've made about 12 guitars. All hand-built, all hand-carved. I think it should have some flair. I want it to be as organic and as natural as possible. I want the carvings to look like they almost grew there.
Hey, little man. Help me out. Call 911 here.
My name is Jackie Stephen. I'm the Director of Community Programs at Arlington Independent Media. Arlington Independent Media is the organization that puts on the Rosebud Film and Video Festival each year. Rosebud is actually one of the oldest film festivals in the area. Oh, those lights help, yeah. And it started in 1990 when a group of independent filmmakers thought there was really no showcase for independent film that was homegrown, that was from the Washington, Maryland, and Virginia area. And so a small group of people started this film festival. AIM took it over in the year 2000, and we have been running it since then, and we absolutely love it. For those of you who aren't familiar with our organization, Arlington Independent Media's mission is very simply to promote and facilitate free speech by providing access to established and emerging media. And we do that in a number of ways. We do that by providing classes in all forms of media, everything from photography, web design, filmmaking, documentary making. We have classes in all of it. But beyond that, we also have equipment and facilities that you can use after you take a couple of basic classes to create whatever you want, as long as it's non-commercial in nature and you allow us to air it on our television channel or one of our venues, also our website, and you're not breaking any laws, which is relatively easy to do. Our mission is to try to make people producers in the media landscape, not just consumers. And we believe that that's truly important, that more and more that people are creating media, the better our media system will become. And so I hope that all of you, those of you who entered Rosebud, you are now members of AIM. I hope that your friends who are here and family will also consider becoming a member of our organization. We bring a lot to the community, and we can only bring, sort of like Kevin said, what you guys want. And so we need you. So please consider becoming a member of our organization. In addition to our classes, I mentioned we also run a TV channel here in Arlington, but even if you don't live in Arlington, you can see things that are created from us. You can stream our channel on our website at arlingtonmedia.org. In December, we just started a low-power FM radio station. So we're a broadcast radio station that you can hear in pretty good coverage in this area. Certainly all of Arlington, but also a lot of DC. I have friends in Brooklyn who tell me that they're tuning in regularly. And to the south as far as Alexandria down to Edsel Road. But if you're out of that area and you still want to listen to WERA, which is, by the way, a really bumpin' station, you can stream us on the web too by going to wera.fm. So I'm going to be back up here in a few minutes and I'll tell you even more about our organization, but let's look at some more of the fine films in this year's showcase.
Tex, what do you think I should do?
Sometimes the best answer is no answer. Sometimes it ain't.
Damn right, Tex. Rawhide.
My world was just fine until you called me. And now you want a jet because I'm not Mr. Brady? It doesn't matter, because I will always be the deadbeat dad who abandoned his daughter. Nothing I can say or do can change that. You came in here needing to hate me. So fine, hate away.
Look down long and deep. Have you ever been to the edge? place they call Lover's Leap.
Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, I want you to only use this time to verify if this young woman is Carla Stewart. If the identification is positive, I ask that you please remove yourselves from this room so we can take the proper steps to assure the investigation is not sullied. Do you understand?
Yes.
Sure. Please, stand back.
I've lost close to 200 pounds in 6 months. Yes, due in large part to the salmonella and dysentery, but let's not split hairs here. Progress is progress. There's a certain thrill in knowing that I'm going about my day-to-day life in the exact same way as my ancestors did thousands of years before me. Another thing about extreme paleo is the community. I've got my lunch buddies, and we're out there, and we're just like everybody else.
Yesterday at Navy Memorial. It was terrific, and as Kevin said, I mean, people leaving were just really taken by the films, and I know why, having had a chance to see all of them. AIM is a volunteer organization. We have a very small paid staff, but mostly all of the good work that you see done is done by volunteers, and it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing family. So I want to thank some of them right now. First, can I please have a round of applause for Kevin Sampson? Until last year, it was my job to run Rosebud. And whereas I loved it, you know, there were jail sentences a little bit shorter than the number of years that I ran this festival. So it was really wonderful to be able to turn it over to somebody who has taken the care with it that he has, and he's really doing great things with it. So I thank him very much. Also, our volunteers for the festival, Bill Weissner, Hef Munson, Bill Calder, Sherry Thompson, Rhonda Mendoza, who was there yesterday and is here today greeting you and looking gorgeous as always. Rhonda. Craig Nolan, Herbert McNair, Joseph Gueron, Brian McTire, and Quinn Pack. Thank you all very, very much for the time that you put in. We could not have done this festival without you. Long before this weekend, a group of people dedicated a huge amount of time culling through all of the entries and determining both our showcase that was screened yesterday and then further to determine the winners that will be announced tonight. And so please, thank you to Mary Ratliff, Jonelle Henry, Otessa Gadar, Jeffrey Lyles, and Michael Parsons. All of you, thanks very much, because again, I know the amount of time that you did and the care with which you went through these films, so thank you. AIM staff, we have, and I'm part of this staff, but I will say that I have the pleasure of working with some of the finest people in community media or any kind of media anywhere. And so please, a big shout out to Devin Gallagher, Lori McCardle, Patrick McCleary, Melissa Snowden, Elaine Coates, Kathy Overton, and our executive director, who could not be here tonight, and he is very sorry about that, but Paul LaValle, who really stands behind us and allows us to do incredibly cool things out in the community like Rosebud. So give it up for the staff of AIM. Finally, you guys hopefully were able to partake in some of the wonderful food here tonight. And that is our local sponsors, restaurants in the area who give year over year to allow us to do many of the events we do, including this one. This year's sponsors for Rosebud are La Tasca, Kosi, Hard Times Cafe, the Lebanese Taverna, Moby Dick House of Kebab, and our fine music and audio being provided by The Beaten Path. So thank you guys. Let's look at some more clips.
A niche is your forever home. A niche is a spot where your remains be put. It is a neighborhood. Do you have to be alive to be considered part of a neighborhood?
We were so afraid of us being less than perfect, and you pushed us really, really hard. The low point of this for me was when I was in junior high. Of course, junior high kids are extremely hypersensitive about their appearance and everything else. And I had some kids over, girls over, for a sleepover. And we were sitting in the living room. And at one point, Mom marches into the room, you know, to welcome everybody. And she goes, "I didn't know why anybody would want to be friends with my daughter. She is so stupid and ugly."
I didn't say that.
You did say that, Mom. You own that. You gotta own that.
Setting fire to our insides for fun, collecting names of the lovers that went wrong. It was a flood that wrecked this and you caused it, and you caused it.
I'm Margaret. Nice to meet you.
A well-mannered woman never offers her handshake to a man first. She only responds if he makes the initial handshake offer.
I'm sorry. I apologize for my error in manners. So, Marvin, what are you looking for in a woman?
Someone to cook for me, to clean my house, do my ironing, put ointment on the corns on my feet.
And then I caught a charge. Not for robbery, but for murder. It was a crazy rush of adrenaline going through me at all times. Life was speeding and flying, and then it just stopped.
Affect your daily life today?
My past definitely affects me every single day. And my mother ended up getting addicted to drugs, and at that time it was crack cocaine. And I felt like if I left, she was gonna OD. And every day I think about, oh my gosh, can you imagine if I would have gone to school? I could have been a nurse for probably 20 years now.
know you guys are getting tired of seeing me. I promise this is the last time I'm up here tonight. I forgot one very important thank you, and that is to this venue, Clarendon Ballroom. They are so generous with us, allowing us and hosting us each year for this award ceremony. So to Sandra Haney of Clarendon Ballroom, the catering director, and to our fabulous bartender, Dave, over there. We do have an event to do. This is a terrific venue, so give Sandra a call. Let's get out to giving some awards. That'd be great. So our first presenter is one of our judges, Mary Ratliff. And Mary is a storyteller at heart. She's equally at home working on fiction and documentary films. She's worked on many projects as a script supervisor and a member of the art department. Through her company, 9 Hour Films, Ratliff has written and directed several films, including her feature documentary, Good Game, which explores the lives of professional gamers, and her award-winning short, Catching Up, that tells a story about an inmate, his jailer, and the repercussions of their choices. You can learn more about her on her website, 9hourfilms.com, and you can meet her right now. So please welcome Mary Ratliff.
Hello. So whenever I'm asked about the atmosphere in the DMV film community, there's two words that come to mind for me, and they've especially already been evident here tonight, and that's cooperation and collaboration. I'm actually incredibly lucky. I sort of landed in this area by accident, and instead of finding filmmakers bitterly competing with each other and stabbing each other in the back for jobs, I found so many people who just want to help each other, and people who love filmmaking so much that all they want to do is find those other people who love filmmaking and talk to them and help them out. There's also an incredible amount of talent and skill and experience in this area. We have everything that you could need, no matter the size or the scope of your project, whether you're making a feature-length film or a web series or a music video. We've got brilliant writers and directors. We saw a lot of their work yesterday. And we've got beautiful cinematography, skilled actors, maybe more than our fair share of excellent documentary filmmakers. But the most important thing that we have here is a community. In this area, there's a natural understanding that a rising tide lifts all boats. And when you meet another filmmaker, they want to tell you about their project and they want to pitch you. Don't get me wrong, we all want to do it. But usually their next question is, but what are you working on? Because they want to offer you their expertise, they want to help you out. And when you get to those dark days of filmmaking and you run into those problems, because we all know there's going to be problems, you've got a lot of cheerleaders out there willing and able to help you get through them. And then in this community, we've also got a lot of really excellent opportunities to get together and to celebrate each other, like this event this weekend. And so our first award is going to be going to the confidential informant, Stephen Kennebackowitz.
Laura told Marquise there was a skinny, older-looking dude in the alley the day I braced her.
But Flo ain't know my name, though. You set my name to Marquise? You gave me up, Letitia? You gave me up?
Hi. This is crazy. Thank you for the film festival.
Thank you. Wow.
We are taken back by this. So many awesome films here in this festival, and shout out to this man right here. That is. Shout out to this man right here. If I could, George Pelicanos, it was an honor to work under you as a PA on Treme, and to work beside you. I mean, I can't even put that into words. And to Kyle Crosby, one of the reasons this is such a awesome film and means so much to me is I found one of my closest best friends on Luke's journey, and he produced, and the cast and crew just awesome for getting everything he had when it was wintry, aka snowy, and everything like that. It's just been an amazing journey. So thanks.
Thank you. It was a great experience for me. These guys, Steven, George, Kyle, the cast, everybody was just great. Everybody's down to earth. Made me feel good to be able to, bring across what I was able to bring across. And thank you. I'm just happy to be a part of this project. Thank you.
So I get to introduce our next presenter. Jeffrey K. Lyles is the founder, critic, and photographer of Lyles Movie Files, which has covered film, TV, video games, wrestling, and action figures since 2012. Along with weekly TV recaps and Friday new release movie reviews, he puts his spin on most of the big news in entertainment. Before starting his site, Lyles worked as a movie critic for the Gazette newspapers for over a decade. And you can follow his latest daily coverage at lylesmoviefiles.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hello, everybody. As a DC film critic, I get to see movies every week. I see 2 to 3 in a given week. But when Kevin asked me to take part and be a judge in this, I wasn't quite sure what to make out of it. From the very first movie I started watching, it was cool because it wasn't so much the 2-hour and 20-minute production that can go on. It's like, oh, okay, this is weird. This is interesting. Some of these stories were told in 5 and 10 and 15 minutes, and they were stories you don't see in Hollywood. And I don't go to Gallery Place and see these movies, but the passion was so evident with each movie, and it was really cool, from the documentaries to the shorts to the full-length feature productions. And it was a very unique outing for me to do. I'm a member of the Washington Area Film Critics Association, and every year we do an award honoring films from a Hollywood perspective, honoring the best portrayal of Washington, D.C. And it was cool for me to actually see Washington, D.C. and not stand-ins in many of these films. So I had the pleasure of introducing the next winner. And the winner is Tex, Wisdom of the Old West. William R. Hopkins.
Quentin is having a little issue with one of his neighbors.
She's not a neighbor, she's a harpy in a human skin suit. For the past 6 months, she has been slowly stealing territory in the community garden. First, she pushed the white feathers out completely.
I heard they're relocating.
And she's been gradually amassing more and more of her share of the plot ever since.
Well, you're gonna have to do something about it.
I know.
You have absolutely no depth of character. Anyway, let's finish up so I can beat the afternoon rush at Whole Foods.
Oh.
Wow, this is absolutely unexpected. The one thing I love about the Rosebud Film Festival is it's always such a phenomenal diversity of experience, both in terms of the types of stories, whether it's features or shorts, documentaries or narrative, and the unique voices and perspectives that you get through these things. That's why I love going to these things. I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored here. First rule, I have to thank my wife. That's the one rule that she's driven into me, that whenever you accept something, you have to thank your wife first. So that part's done. Second, I want to thank my phenomenal cast and crew. Dan Foster, our director of photography on this. My cast, Nick DePinto, Brooks Tegler, Keith Waters, Carol McCaffrey is sort of our primary people here. Could not have done this without them. A great troop of people I love working with. But I also really want to thank my daughters. This was an opportunity to work really as a family. My older daughter, Anna, co-wrote the film with me and actually ended up co-producing it with Lee Perna, our producer. And I always credit, and she also co-wrote it. I say, everything that's funny in this thing is all her. All the funny lines, this was all her doing. So this was phenomenal. She was able to come to the showcase yesterday. I was really happy for that. And my younger daughter as well, who wrote the opening theme and performed the guitar in the opening sequence here. This is absolutely a phenomenal experience. I am truly, truly humbled and just really, really happy to be part of such a fantastic community in the DMV. Thank you all so very, very much.
And I get the pleasure to introduce Jonelle Henry. After graduating from the University of Florida, Jonelle Henry transitioned into politics and media when she moved to DC and worked on Capitol Hill for Senator Bob Graham. Jonelle went on to work for C-SPAN as a production assistant and has been there for the past 15 years, where she's currently the international producer. In her spare time, her brainchild, Districtly Speaking, provides DMV participants the space to debate and discuss the most talked about social and political issues during its monthly town halls and regular happy hours. For more information, check out districtlyspeaking.com. And now Jonelle Henry.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about judging. As you guys know, the DMV is pretty much dominated by news and politics, which is what I do during the day. So of course, when Rosebud came up, I was kind of concerned that I wouldn't be able to have enough time to judge because we have this thing called an election coming up, and I knew that that was going to dominate my time. But when I started to think about it more, I'm just like, this is the exact break that I need from all of the politics and all of the election coverage that I have to do in my day job. This would be a really nice way to kind of celebrate the other things that are happening in the DMV besides politics and news and a Donald Trump speech of the day. So I was really, really impressed with everything that I was able to see. And as a producer, it was really nice to see how producers and how production came together in film. I learned a lot. There were so many amazing films that I was able to enjoy and watch. And I was really glad to be part of the judging experience and to kind of offer some of my kind of non-movie film background, expertise in that area. It was really great. It was a lovely family. So thank you, Kevin, for allowing me to be part of this judging experience. So I get the honor of introducing the next award. Drum roll, please. And the Rosebud goes to Southeast 67, Betsy Cox, director.
I lost a lot of my friends, and their bodies would be coming out of these buildings, and they would be out on this street right out here, dead.
I'm working with an organization called the I Have a Dream Foundation. So we have 67 kids who we follow from the time they're 13 till the time they graduate from high school. I guess if you come from a place like this, you've got to put your hopes in something. I wish it was school these kids put their hopes in, but usually that's not it.
Good evening. I worked in Southeast Washington, D.C. at a time when outsiders who came in to describe the neighborhood often described the people who lived there as bad. Betsy Cox, the filmmaker who unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight, what she was able to do in 71 minutes was come into Southeast and describe the people there just as people. And the people I work with there I love very much. And so I really appreciated Betsy's ability to not caricature folks and just to tell the stories of life through their eyes. So I just want to thank her for depicting my students as the heroes that they really are. And I want to thank the Rosebud Film Festival for acknowledging her great work. Thank you very much.
I really love that film. That was such a special, compelling story. So I have the honor of introducing the next presenter. As one of the web series Medium's earliest adopters, Otessa Kadar is a true forerunner of digital media. Her series, Orange Juice in Bishop's Garden, started as her MFA thesis at Columbia University's Film School and is now the longest continually running show online. Otessa is also the founder and owner of DC-based digital media company 2020 Productions. With its content, the company has become the destination for non-geo-block, globally available programming. The company is currently planning its 4th annual DC Web and Digital Media Festival, DC Web Fest, in 2016. Come on up, Otessa.
Well, that was a very lovely introduction. So enough about me, though. I am just thrilled to be here. In particular, I want to mention a little bit about the importance and the excitement of celebrating local film. In particular, kind of building off of what you were just saying about politics. One of the things that I love about this region is that we are so very creative. And not just that, we are incredibly diverse. We are not just heartless politicos. And at the end of the day, it's always wonderful to realize that this is not a springboard to New York or LA. This is a destination in its own right. So the next Rosebud goes to Master Plan by Joseph Malinsky.
By the age of 17, I had been through war. Could barely sleep at night. 7 friends dying, haunting me in nightmares. First time I seen a man die, I couldn't move. By the 3rd and 4th, I realized I had a role to provide comfort in their last moments.
Well, thank you guys. It's an honor to be acknowledged with the other nominations. This was a great film festival and a lot of great voices. I want to thank my cast and crew who were amazing, who worked till long hours a day for no money. And then my wife, who has been there since the beginning, who supports me and allows me to pursue these side dreams. But more importantly, I would like to thank Chris Wilson, who allowed me to tell his story. Chris Wilson is the kind of guy that when you meet him, it changes your path in life. He's truly an amazing, inspiring person. And when I got to interview him, I was like, your story needs to be told into a movie. He was like, let's do it. I was like, well, that's a big task. He's like, well, where can we start? And this is where we started. And we planned to tell his story because there's a lot of shapes and issues that it addresses. It addresses the criminal justice system, it addresses opportunity, and it's a story that needs to be told, and I look forward to continuing to tell it, and I thank him, and I thank the Rosebud Film Festival for allowing me in this award, so thank you.
All right, so this year we're doing something different. While we had 5 qualified judges, we wanted to hear from the audience and see what film they enjoyed the most. So for the filmmakers, your entry, as Jackie had said, gave you a 1-year membership to Arlington Independent Media. And so with this first Audience Choice Awards, AIM is actually going to waive the fees for our digital cinema and grip courses. And we want to fast track you getting certified to reserve and use the equipment. So our digital cinema and grip class will teach you how to use a Canon C300, Rosebud Cinema Prime lenses, Steadicam, tracking dolly, jib arm, a slider, and more tools. So let's see who this year's Audience Choice Awards winner is. The Confidential Informant.
I can use a little taste too. Get you back on payday?
Payday, where you working at, man?
Hold up, Bird. Look, I've been in here for a couple hours, trying to stay warm and shit. And I heard some things.
Like what?
Some boys was in here earlier asking about you. One of them had silver fronts in his mouth. They described you in the hat you always wearing. But I ain't tell them nothing, Bird. There was this other bandman that they talked to, though. He told the dude with the fronts in his mouth where you stay at.
Know where my people stay? Come on, man, let's get out of here.
Sorry. Hi again. Thanks again for this. It means a lot. And it's all because of these guys, and I already talked, so I'm gonna let somebody else talk. That's just a pen.
Man, George, Kyle, man, Steven, this was like a great opportunity for me
And I don't even know what to say, man. I was telling everybody, like, look, man, I think everybody gonna love it, you know, and everybody loved it. So, man, thank y'all, man. It was a blessing, man.
Thank you, everybody. All right, so now we're up for our final award, and to present that is Shoshana Rosenbaum. Shoshana Rosenbaum is a Washington, D.C. based writer, filmmaker, and mother of three. She supports other independent filmmakers and likes strong stories that explore the intersection of the real and the supernatural. Her film, The Goblin Baby, was a finalist in last year's Rosebud Film Festival. Shoshana, come on.
Good evening. Well, thank you, Kevin, for inviting me to come up and present an award tonight. It's an honor to be here. It was an honor last year to receive a Rosebud Award. As a filmmaker, you know, you just have a story that you want to tell, especially with a short film. You're not looking for anything other than to share your perspective, your point of view, and the same for all the people that work on your film. Are usually not, if they're working for any money, it's not very much, as you all know. So it's really gratifying to be acknowledged, even if one person after they see your film says that it resonated with them, that's extremely gratifying, and then to have it recognized by an award like this is even more so. So I know I appreciated it, and I'm honored to present the Best in Show to Last Night, Harold Jackson III, director.
Think you own me? No one owns Jonathan Carter. You hear that?
Oh, can I get in on that?
By all means.
Screw you! You don't own him?
Screw. Wow.
What are you gonna help me out on?
Sorry. What was that? Oh, you think you're better than us?
Is that what you think?
You're not better than us.
There's no way you're better than us. Like, John Carter and Sky Dorado ain't gonna take your mess, man.
Oh, you hear that?
Oh, I know you heard that.
Yeah, these lights are. This is really nice, man. First, I want to thank Rosebud Film Festival for accepting the film and screening it. And you know, I saw a lot of films yesterday, and they were really, really good. I was really impressed by a lot of the films that I saw, and even the ones that I saw the clips of today. So to be considered among that group feels really good. I want to thank you know, the community here for accepting me as part of the DMV filmmaking community. I'm kind of speechless a little bit. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. This is really nice. Thank you.
All right, that's all for this year's show. Again, thank you for coming out and helping us just to close out the festival this year. I know it was crazy with Jonas coming into town last week, pushed everything back, so I'm so glad to see you guys here. I want to give a heartfelt thank you to all the volunteers, as Jackie said. You know, these festivals just don't happen on its own, and it's not just me quarterbacking. You know, you got to have a team. So thank the volunteers, and especially the staff at Arlington Independent Media for helping me out. I gotta give a special shout out to Jackie Stephen. As she said, you know, I took over last year for Rosebud, and she, you know, a lot of times when you have a baby and you see your baby leave, like you want to make sure that it has the right clothes on, and you know, that don't do it this way. She has never ever done any of that. She supported me, and whenever I have an issue that comes up or anything, she's right there. So Jackie, thank you so much. You might hear some little ones in the back. It's past their bedtime, but I gotta give a shout out to my family. I love them so much. They are the team that powers my dreams. All right, and finally, you know, stick around, let's network. That's what the whole film festival is all about. Please, again, I want to thank the Clarendon Ballroom. Please see Dave for some drinks after this. Shout out to the Beaten Path, spinning these amazing tunes tonight. And then if all of the winners, if I could see you in the back by the step and repeat right after that, let's just have a good time, network, and we'll see you next year, about August, when I do the call for entries, and I'm like, where's those films at? Thanks. What's up, everybody? Kevin Sampson, PictureLockShow.com. I'm here with the Jolly Green Giant. Nope! It's Stephen Kinagopoulos, the director of The Confidential Informant. Stephen, welcome to the Rosebud Film Festival.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so can you tell the audience a little bit about your film?
Film is about a son who I would say is looking for his father's approval through being confidential informant.
Just like that. Just like that. Now, you actually sat in studio. We had a good conversation about universal storytelling. Can you just talk a little bit, go a little bit more into detail about, because it's more than just that.
Details about it. I don't want to give too much away. It is a short. I'd say, yeah, it's seeking a father's approval and, yeah, I don't want to get, sorry, I don't get.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. All right, so let's just talk about the shooting. Where did you actually shoot the film?
We shot it here in D.C., all over, and what was cool about it is that some places that we shot now are actually, they don't exist. Like, they've made it over or demolished it and built something new on it. So it's really cool to know that we got some of the last pieces of where it was, of those locations.
Yeah, and like they say, film is forever, so you got to preserve some of that history.
Yeah, yeah. So that was nice, and you know, it was maybe me being ignorant, but I didn't. You know, when I thought of DC, I thought it was just government stuff, and it's my first time shooting here and like exploring the city, and then I find out that it's not. You know, it's neighborhoods, homes, schools, the whole works. It's not just. I guess like politicians and governments and White House, Capitol, and all that stuff. So it was nice.
Right. Okay, awesome. So what is the film doing right now? Are you on the film festival circuit? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Right now it's in the circuit, and we got a few more festivals. One in Los Angeles at the end of the month, Hollywood Short Film Festival. This one, and then we're still waiting to hear back from a few others.
Awesome. Anything else on the horizon for you, directorial-wise?
Yes. Right now I just finished a short script, and hopefully we'll be shooting that in 3 months and prepping for it up in Shreveport. So, Louisiana, yep.
Nice. On location. That's cool. That's awesome. All right. Well, Stephen, congrats again on being in the festival. It's good seeing you as always.
Thank you.
Kevin Sampson, PictureLockShow.com. I'm here with two of the actors in The Confidential Informant, Thaddeus and Ed. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Here.
So, if you could, just tell us a little bit about the film as well as your characters.
Okay, the film is basically a story about a guy about in his 40s living in inner city Washington, D.C., and he's still living at home with his parents, don't have a lot going on for himself. So he's basically trying to, and he also has a brother that's doing well in life. So everything is basically competition with his brother and trying to prove himself to his father, trying to get love and acceptance and respect from his father. So he does what he probably felt like was the only thing that he had access to, was doing something like, you know, being a confidential informant, working with the police and trying to eventually solve this murder to prove to his father that, you know, he accomplished something. So.
Yeah, and what was it like just getting into the character? What was your experience like on set?
It was pretty cool because, you know, I could relate to the character. I had empathy for him, and it was a story that I was kind of familiar with growing up in Baltimore. So I feel like I could, you know, I could portray the character in a realistic way.
All right, and Ed, you guys are buddies. Y'all know each other for a while. Yeah, so talk a little bit about that and your character.
Me and Thaddeus, we have been like brothers since about 1998, 97, since we were about 14 years old.
99 and 2000.
Yeah, for a long time. We've been doing theater since we were like 14 years old, and me, myself, I played the character Robo in Confidential Informant, who is a good buddy of Verdon's. Basically, my character is that guy that, you know, sits in the neighborhood bar, keeps his ear to the street, always in something, always got his ears and eyes open, the guy that you can come to find out, who got shot around the corner, or, who was fussing with their baby mother down the street. So, he's that, right, he's the neighborhood news guy. So, and me growing up in Baltimore, having a lot of guys like that I walk across every day, even had one or two in my family that, keep their ears to the street. So just watching, people like that as I came up, gave me a little more, feel for the fire, so I can, play this character and really bring the character out as best I can. So.
Now, when you guys actually, you've seen the film, obviously you're here at the Rosebud Film Festival. We're just trying to honor the, local DC, Maryland, Virginia filmmakers. Now that you've seen the film, like, on the big screen, and you might have seen it before then, but how do you guys feel seeing that? Do you feel like, the director, Stephen Kinagopoulos, you got it right? You feel like it was authentic? What have you guys heard so far in response?
There's been positive response. Me personally, just the writing within the script. George, he's great at what he does.
George Pelicanos?
Yes, George Pelicanos. So just reading the script and just, Steven having the insight he does and just being raw with it. And the story, I think it all connected from everybody's perspective and what they brought, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, let me just throw this out there. George is a beast. All right, he is a beast.
Yeah.
And for the wire, man.
Yes. And really, he kind of in each character, you can kind of go inside the character. Each person playing each role, allowed you to step inside the character with them. As they try to bring the character, to life. So how it was written, how it was filmed, the whole production team, everything was just like amazing.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, guys. So I'm sure that you guys are acting right now. How can people reach out to you if they wanted to cast you in their film?
Social media, Facebook.
Yeah.
IMDb. We're both on there. Instagram. Just
Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
And anytime if in Baltimore City, we also a member of a nonprofit organization, a theater company called Woundwork Productions, New World Art Ensemble. So we perform up and down the east coast of the country, and we do a lot inside the school systems.
A lot of social change theater.
Yeah, a lot of social change theater,
Okay.
theatrical theater. So we're all over Baltimore, DC. You can find us. Just look us up.
Nice. Well, congratulations on being in the Rosebud Film Festival. Great stuff.
Awesome being here.
Awesome.
What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Sampson of PictureLockShow.com. I'm here with Paul O'Halloran, the director of The Hero of Ireland. Paul, welcome to the Rosebud Film Festival.
Thanks, mate. It's great to be here.
So could you just tell the audience a little bit about your film?
Yeah, absolutely. My film, The Hero of Ireland, it's about this very young, meek boy who's ostracized by his peers because his father, his Irish father, fights in the British Army. And this was at a very... this was a tricky time period in Ireland because it was like 1918. Around this time period, a lot of Irish people were very poor, so they did fight in the British Army just for money. But while they were away, there was a political revolution and there was the War of Independence. And it was quickly put down by the British. But then when these Irish soldiers came back from the war, they found just this other Ireland. And so they found themselves in this very kind of grey zone where they received no love from Britain because they're rebel Irish, but they received no love from Ireland either because they were kind of seen as traitors, they fought for the king. And so the inspiration of this film came from my great-granddad, who was one of these kind of guys, one of these grey area soldiers. So that's what my film's about. It's about this young, meek boy who never had a father. His father comes back from the war, and the boy kind of romanticizes the violence of the war. He sees the father as this like epitome of Celtic Irish identity hero. And then as the story progresses, the lines between fantasy and reality begin to blur. So it's kind of like a violence begets violence kind of story. He's learning lessons of manhood from his father, but is that the right thing, you know?
Right, right, and so obviously from your accent, this is authentic. It's not. This is, you didn't just, and like you said with Rosebud, one of the things I know the festival we try to honor is deeply personal films. So can you just tell us where did you actually shoot the film?
It couldn't have gotten more personal. I went back, so I live here now, but I'm an Irish immigrant. I went back to my hometown to film. So I was shot in Swords, County Dublin, and yeah, it was a very important film for me. So I brought on everybody who was important back in Ireland. So the little kid in the film is my nephew Mark. We used to make films together when he was around. The older man's my brother. We used to make films together. My brother did the sound. My best friend was DOP. The producer was my brother-in-law. The wardrobe was my sister. It was, wow. You know, because I made films back in Ireland, and when I moved away, it was one of the hardest things I ever did, and you know, I lost that network. You know, we were all filmmakers. My whole family, we all made films. So when I went back, it was a very deep personal film, and I wanted to shoot it in my hometown because that was symbolic too. And the parts of Dublin City that we shot in were actually the historical parts where those soldiers actually lived. Even the street that the man and his son walked down, that's their street that soldiers used to live on when they came back from the war. It was very kind of, it's just locked in history. You know, it looks like that now, it looked like that then. It never changed.
Man, that's incredible, because when I watched the film, I was thinking to myself, this does not look like America. So that is awesome. Wow, your whole family is involved in it. So you got to be proud. It's in the Rosebud Film Festival. Is it playing anywhere else? Are you doing the festival circuit right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's come to the end of its life cycle because it's played in a lot of places. I think we've had, I didn't need to count, but I think it's been about 20 festivals. So I'm really happy to get into the Rosebud Festival because I just missed the deadline last year and I couldn't believe it. So I'm really, really, really happy that I just made it this time.
That's awesome. All right, so any projects on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I'm really I'm trying to strategize about how to go about making a feature film now. So I have a screenplay, but it's an Irish comedy drama or lighthearted drama, and it's about this Irish guy who's just in the beginning of the economic recession, and he gets the opportunity to move to America, and so he has to make this choice about, does he move to kind of greener pastures, or does he stay in Ireland where he has this huge, big, close knit but crazy family. So it's very inspired by real life. Yes, very much. I mean, do what you know, right? I mean, and it's one of those big things, you know, when you come to another country as an immigrant, you become very, very aware of your identity. You know, it's very much like you suddenly realize, oh gosh, I'm not like everyone around here. And that amplifies so strongly, and you really get a sense of yourself, and you begin to question, why am I different? What makes me different? What about my culture makes me different? So I just go to town on that kind of thing when I'm making films. But yeah, I was just gonna say it's like it's an exploration for me, you know, like.
Right, and I think it's awesome because you know, as someone that hasn't even been to Ireland, you bring me into your world. So that's pretty awesome. All right, how could people reach out to you or find the film if they wanted to?
You could check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/The Hero of Ireland.
Awesome. All right, well, congratulations, Paul. Thanks for coming on the show.
Uh-oh.